What's going on, guys? Crater here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Universe Mode. I tell you everything that happened this week on my Raw, Smackdown, and 205 Live Universe Mode. But a very interesting week it was for the Smackdown Live roster, as they're coming off their own exclusive pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. As one of the main features of the match was the Money in the Bank ladder match, which was won by the leader of the Balor Club, Finn Balor. Finn Balor defied the odds of beating the likes of Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Rusev, Kevin Owens, and The Miz to become Mr. Money in the Bank. It's been a long struggle here for Finn Balor ever since coming to SmackDown Live thanks to our Universe Mode draft. It looks like he finally found his footing, and now he is officially Mr. Money in the Bank, where he can cash in that contract and earn a title opportunity anytime, anywhere within the next year. Congratulations to Finn Balor. Another superstar we should also be congratulating is the WWE Champion Jinder Mahal, who was able to successfully retain his WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura, completely putting all naysayers down to rest officially, as he was able to do it all by himself with no help of the Singh brothers whatsoever. It was a grueling match. Shinsuke Nakamura looked like he had it, but due to his cockiness, it backfired on him completely, and Jinder Mahal was able to take advantage of that. He was able to hit the Kalash and successfully retain his WWE title. Now that Shinsuke Nakamura is completely out of his way now, will be next for the modern day Maharaja. Another superstar they put someone behind him as well is Byron, as he was able for weeks now. He was hoping to get this opportunity at Money in the Bank. He finally did. He was finally able to get his hands on Kurt Hawkins, and boy oh boy did Kurt Hawkins get a beating of his lifetime by the Glorious One. Weeks of tension was building between these two, and in the end, Byron was able to beat Kurt Hawkins, laying him to rest with the glorious DDT. I'm yet to give credit to Kurt Hawkins. He fought a hard-fought battle, but in the end, it was the Glorious One who was able to pick up the victory against Kurt Hawkins. Now he can move on to bigger and better things. Fortunately for these two superstars, they cannot move on, as Samoa Joe fought Akira Tozawa in a 10-minute Iron Man match, which looked to be the match to settle the score between the two, but that did not happen, as the match ended in a draw with 1-1 each. Both men gave it their all. Akira Tozawa took Samoa Joe to his limit, and Samoa Joe took Akira Tozawa to his limit, and in the end it was a draw. What is going to be the fallout between these two? Something telling me that we're going to find out sooner rather than later. Before we go over the epic 3-week superstar shakeup that took place on my channel, I'm going to go quickly to the social media hub, as the Intercontinental Champion The Miz has announced via social media that he no longer needs the services of Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Ever since becoming Intercontinental Champion, The Miz is someone that has gotten a more cocky attitude. They feel as though Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel be holding him back, because he has officially relieved Axel and Bo of their duties. So what's going to be next for those two? Maybe they're going to still be together as a team, but right now for The Miz, it's just him and his wife Maurice, as well as his Intercontinental title. Alright guys, now time to switch gears to the Superstar Shakeup. It was a 3-week special event, guys, that took place on my channel. I'm really proud of it. A lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff has changed. Now the reason why the Superstar Shakeup took place in the first place was because due to the influx of talent coming from NXT to Raw and SmackDown, I feel as though to make the most out of all the superstars, the cruiserweights that are on Monday Night Raw are going to have their own show, which is 205 Live, which was the land of cruiserweights anyway, but now it's officially their own brand. The cruiserweights has nothing to do with Monday Night Raw anymore. But because the cruiserweight is such an initial part of the roster, we decided to do a superstar shakeup to balance out all 3 brands. And here are the results from the Superstar Shakeup. Let's head over to the Raw side. For Raw, we now have the likes of the Authors of Pain, which are coming up from NXT. The returning Bobby Lashley. Another superstar getting called up from NXT is Ember Moon. We have Jason Jordan coming from SmackDown, now in Monday Night Raw. Another superstar for SmackDown coming in Monday Night Raw is the Big Red Machine, Kane. You have another NXT call-up in Noe Jose. Someone who's coming from SmackDown Live, R-Truth. Eric Rowan, who's also coming from SmackDown and making his presence felt on Monday Night Raw now. We also have Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega, 2 more call-ups from NXT. We have Sin Cara coming from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. The Iconics getting called up from NXT to go to Monday Night Raw. And Heath Slater and Rhino finishing off the Raw side of Superstar Shakeup, coming over from SmackDown Live to Monday Night Raw. This roster now with these people like the likes of Authors of Pain, Ember Moon, the Iconics, Andrade, the returning Bobby Lashley, this whole roster is now stacked than ever for Monday Night Raw. I mean, Raw couldn't have all the fun because the SmackDown Live roster also saw a shakeup of their own as they saw the return of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is coming back in ring competition, and he will be competing on SmackDown Live. Not just him, but Drew McIntyre, who got called up from NXT, is coming alongside his now friend, Dolph Ziggler. What's going to be happening when these two show up on SmackDown Live? Who knows? And speaking of who's going to be showing up, what about the devastating team of the most destructive force in NXT's history getting called up to the main roster? I'm talking about Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane. Sanity has arrived, and they are now on SmackDown Live. Also, we see the in-ring debut of Lana. Now she's going to be on SmackDown Live as well. She's been a part of WWE for a while now, but now she's going to be seeing in-ring competition on the Blue brand, alongside her husband Rusev as well. So things should be getting very interesting. But I think the most talked about one out of everybody here on SmackDown Live has to be that Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet, will be on the SmackDown Live roster. Things are going to be getting very interesting for SmackDown Live. People thought SmackDown Live roster was going to be hurt because of the superstar shakeup, because some of the superstars need to go to Raw, but not at all. With these brand new additions and returning superstars like Daniel Bryan and Ronda Rousey of all people, the SmackDown Live roster is also a must-see for SmackDown. Can't forget about 205 Live, the land of the Cruiserweights, which also saw a superstar shakeup of their own, as 3 new call-ups from NXT will be coming over to 205 Live. I'm talking about the likes of the Juggernaut, Buddy Murphy, Mark Andrews, and Lio Rush. All 3 of these superstars are looking to make a name for themselves here on the brand new exclusive show for the Cruiserweights, 205 Live. Now that Superstar Shakeup is done and over with, it's now time to get back into business, and next week will be the return of Monday Night Raw. My Universe Mode is back, guy, as regularly scheduled, and when a main event is going to be possibly one of the biggest Raw main events that I have thus far in My Universe Mode, a triple threat match for the United States title. AJ Styles must defend his United States title against John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Now, Bray Wyatt won a triple threat match to become the #1 contender for the United States title. However, John Cena beat AJ Styles last week one-on-one. So both men were worthy of a shot against the champion, so why not add both of them to the mix? AJ Styles likes to talk a big game now, he can back it up. He calls himself the phenomenal United States champion, well, he can prove it, as he has to face both men in a triple threat match for the United States title. The one thing I want to make very clear though, is that regardless of the outcome of this match, Bray Wyatt still has a guaranteed contractual one-on-one match for the United States title. Switching gears to SmackDown Live, we have 2 huge matches for the show next week, as Benjamin and Gable must defend their newly won SmackDown Live Tag Team titles against the former champions, the Usos. Now, it's funny saying that because 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been saying that. It was the other way around. The Usos was going to beat Benjamin and Gable for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. But this past Sunday at Money in the Bank, Benjamin and Gable was able to recapture those titles. And the Usos are wasting no time in putting in their rematch clause. Who'll be walking out in this Money in the Bank rematch for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles? We're going to be finding out. Then in the main event for SmackDown Live this week, the Intercontinental title will be on the line, as I alluded to this past Sunday at Money in the Bank, as Kevin Owens invokes his rematch clause to fight the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Kevin Owens wants nothing more than to win his Intercontinental title back. As for The Miz, this is proving that he doesn't need the help of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel anymore, as he officially parted ways with them. What will be the outcome of this epic Intercontinental Championship rematch? We'll be finding out this Tuesday. And as for 205 Live, which is officially marks the first time that they're on their own now, as they're no longer part of the Raw roster, a huge main event will be taking place, as the crown jewel of Lucha Libre and Mexico, Grand Metalik, will be taking on the Sky Supernova, Noam Dar, in a #1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. Now, both men won their respective Fatal 4-Way matches separately, and now it's come down to this. Weeks of seeing who will be competing in that #1 contenders match, and we now know the 2, Grand Metalik and Noam Dar. Which one wants it more, and which one wants to be the next challenger for Neville's Cruiserweight title? All that and more is happening next week on My Universe Mode. But for now, I am Crater, and this was This Week in Universe Mode.